The Kartvelian languages are a language family indigenous to the Caucasus and spoken primarily in Georgia, with large groups of native speakers in Russia, Iran, the United States, the European Union, Israel, and northeastern parts of Turkey. There are approximately 5.2 million speakers of Kartvelian languages worldwide. It is not known to be related to any other language family, making it one of the world's primary language families. The first literary source in a Kartvelian language is the Georgian language inscriptions of Bir el Qutt, written in ancient Georgian Asomtavruli script at the Georgian monastery near Bethlehem, which dates back to c. 430 AD. The Georgian script is the writing system used to write all Kartvelian languages. The Laz language in Turkey is also written using a Latin script. Social and cultural status. Georgian is the official language of Georgia and the main language for literary and business use for all Kartvelian speakers in Georgia. It is written with an original and distinctive alphabet, and the oldest surviving literary text dates from the 5th century AD, the only Caucasian language with an ancient literary tradition. The Old Georgian script seems to have been derived from Aramaic, with Greek influences. Mingrelian has been written with the Georgian alphabet since 1864, especially in the period from 1930 to 1938, when the Mingrelians enjoyed some cultural autonomy, and after 1989. The Laz language was written chiefly between 1927 and 1937, and now again in Turkey, with the Latin alphabet. Laz, however, is disappearing as its speakers are integrating into mainstream Turkish society. Classification. The Kartvelian language family consists of 4 closely related languages. Svan, with approximately 35,000–40,000 native speakers mainly in the northwestern mountainous region of Svaneti, Georgia, and in the Kadori Gorge of Abkhazia, Georgia. Georgian Zan Georgian with approximately 4.5 million native speakers, mainly in Georgia. There are Georgian-speaking communities in Russia, Turkey, Iran, Israel, and EU countries, but the current number and distribution of them are unknown. Zan Mingrelian, with some 500,000 native speakers in 1989, mainly in the western regions of Georgia, namely Samegrelo and Abkhazia. The number of Mingrelian speakers in Abkhazia underwent a dramatic decrease in the 1990s as a result of heavy ethnic cleansing of the Georgian population, the overwhelming majority of which were Mingrelians. The Mingrelians displaced from Abkhazia are scattered elsewhere in the Georgian government territory, with dense clusters in Tbilisi and Zugdidi. Laz, with 220,000 native speakers in 1980, mostly in the Black Sea littoral area of northeast Turkey, and with some 30,000 in Agera, Georgia. Genealogical tree. The connection between these languages was first reported in linguistic literature by J. Gildenstadt in his 1773 classification of the languages of the Caucasus, and later proven by G. Rosen, M. Brosset, F. Bopp and others during the 1840s. Zan is the branch that contains the Mingrelian and Laz languages. On the basis of glottochronological analysis, Klimov dates the split of the Proto-Kartvelian into Svan and Proto-Kartuzan to the 19th century BC, and the further division into Georgian and Zan to the 8th century BC, although with the reservation that such dating is very preliminary and substantial further study is required. The older name, South Caucasian, is no longer much used, as it derives from the idea that Kartvelian is related to the Northwest Caucasian and Northeast Caucasian languages, a position which is no longer maintained. Higher-level connections. No relationship with other languages, including the 2 North Caucasian language families, has been demonstrated so far. Some linguists, such as Gamkrelidze, have proposed that the Kartvelian family is part of a much larger Nostratic language family, but both the concept of a Nostratic family and Georgians' relation to it are not considered likely by linguists. Certain grammatical similarities with Basque, especially in the case system, have often been pointed out. However, this hypothesis, which also tend to link the Caucasian languages with other non-Indo-European and non-Semitic languages of the Near East of ancient times, are generally considered to lack conclusive evidence. Any similarities to other linguistic phyla may be due to aerial influences. Heavy borrowing in both directions has been observed. Therefore it is likely that certain grammatical features have been influenced as well. If the Dene-Caucasian hypothesis, which attempts to link Basque or Urushaski, the North Caucasian families and other phyla, is correct, then the similarities to Basque may also be due to these influences, however indirect. Certain Kartvelian Indo-European lexical links revealed at the proto-language level, which are ascribed to the early contacts between Proto-Kartvelian and Proto-Indo-European populations. Comparative grammar. Regular correspondence is noun classification. The Kartvelian languages classify objects as intelligent and unintelligent beings. Grammatical gender does not exist. Declension verb. Kartvelian verbs can indicate 1, 2, or 3 grammatical persons. A performer of an action is called the subject and affected persons are objects. The person may be singular or plural. According to the number of persons, the verbs are classified as unipersonal, bipersonal or tripersonal. Unipersonal verbs have only a subject and so are always intransitive. Bipersonal verbs have a subject and one object, which can be direct or indirect. The verb is transitive when the object is direct, intransitive if the object is indirect. Tripersonal verbs have one subject and both direct and indirect objects and are ditransitive. Subjects and objects are indicated with special affixes. By means of special markers, Kartvelian verbs can indicate 4 kinds of action. Intentionality. Subjective shows that the action is intended for oneself. Objective, the action is intended for another person. Objective passive, the action is intended for another person and at the same time indicating the passiveness of subject. Neutral, neutral with respect to intention. Examples from inherited lexicon.